real maturity from you. It's not just coming along and hitting squash balls and playing and going. It shows a real maturity that you can actually sit for an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes, looking at squash, talking about squash, doing some exercise. So I think that's real credit to you. You've all had a long day at school and you've got your homeworks pressing, and I understand you're under pressure with all that sort of stuff. So give yourselves a pat on the back, because this to me is coachability. This is coachability coming to do these sessions. This is a commitment, you know. So give yourselves a pat on the back. Steve put a really good little program together for tonight. We've got another video, a slightly different video to show you of Laura Massaro, who was obviously a world champion. So just a slightly different perspective on the game, but with very clear messages for you. So that's my introduction. I've wasted enough time. I'll pass over to Steve, who's got the running order for this evening.
Yeah.
Well done, gents.
After the little pat on the back there's now a good time to ask who's done their homework.
I did it, sort of, maybe.
Wait, what was the
my inbox is empty.
No, you must have gone to your,
the diary.
it must have gone to your spam, Steve. Have you checked your spam?
Oh, look at that. Very nice. Can you see Damien's?
Ah.
Nice.
Wait, and
okay.
I did this.
Yes.
Ah.
Very good.
Right.
But I didn't do this one.
Okay, so we were going to talk a bit about that today. The thing is, what the session we have planned is going to take up the rest of the session, really. And just to make it as higher value for you guys as possible, it's not a good use of time probably for us to make you sit down and fill out this player analysis. But should we just start with a quick chat about it, Carts, and then go into our video? So I'll put it up on the screen.
Could we ask you, gentlemen, can you get that filled in and got back to Steve by next week? Because next week we'll probably... Go on, Steve.
This one?
Do you know what we're talking about? Yeah, so that. I'm going to pull it up now. 1 second. Here it is. Yeah, so it's this Middlesex squash player analysis, where you just really be as honest as possible with yourselves about technically, tactically. We spoke about this before. Coachability, performance, movement, and physical. And then just thinking about some 3-month, 6-month, 9-month goals. I don't really want to say too much more than that because we've got lots to get through. But yeah, have a think about it. It doesn't have to be super in depth. Do you want to talk a bit more about any of those areas, Paul?
No, I would really like them to be able to email those to you so we can actually have a conversation about them at the end of next week's session.
Great.
And it gives us, hopefully, I don't know whether the clubs are going to open, but hopefully, if the clubs are opening at the end of next week, then our high performance session will take place at Coolhurst Wednesday week, two weeks today. So it'd be nice to have that written down, and then we can start this sort of diary exchanging over the next period of time.
Yeah.
Right.
Can we get a little thumbs up as recognition, acknowledgement?
Arjun's going to come in with a thumbs up on his screen, I think. Oh no, I thought he was going to press a chat function. Yay! Yay! Yay!
Very good.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Got it, Damien?
Well done.
Good lad.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So we're going to start with, we'll finish with our fitness bit. And so we'll start with watching a bit of squash. There's going to be lots that we can take from this. So the match we're going to watch is only an 8-minute video. We'll probably stop it a couple of times. It's between Laura Massaro and Noor El Tayeb, and it's really interesting from kind of game plan perspectives. Listening to how Laura. So it's a commentated video. So listening about how Laura's adjusting her game so specifically to Noor El Tayeb's strengths and weaknesses, and how she's trying and keep her at bay, really keep the rallies under control. And yeah, there'll be a few things we can talk about from there. So unless you want to talk about anything else, I'll jump in and share the video, Carts. All right. Let's see if it works. Where is that? It's there. 1 second. I'm going to close that down 1 second, guys. Share screen. Boom. Oh, there it is. Let's see if this works. Is that working?
Yeah, working.
Lovely. Let's just make it full screen. Okay.
So just as I come back on court for the third game of the match against Noor El Tayeb in the British Open, 2-0 up with the first game being quite ahead and then just sneaking at 11-9, and the second game being quite far behind, I think 7-2, and winning at 11-9 as well. So feeling quite good, I think, mentally at the start of this third game. Had a good chat with Danny. Obviously kind of in a way annoyed at how the first two games went, being so far up and only just winning it, and then so far down and only just winning it. Totally different. And you know, he just basically said to me, you know, stick to the game plan. We had a game plan to try and frustrate Noor in this match, keep the angles down, keep the ball tight on the wall and get in front and volley. And it really, really was as simple as that. And I played well on this day, and I don't think Noor was at her best, but sometimes it's always hard to tell whether someone's not at their best because of the tactical plan that you're employing. And yeah, so as we start this third game now, I'm obviously just levelled back at 2-2 here, and as you'll see that as it goes on, I'm really trying to kind of nullify her almost with a mindset of popping the ball around the court a little bit, just putting the ball in really good areas, putting the ball into corners, using lots of height, trying to keep her from getting a grip of kind of any sort of momentum and any sort of shot play. And you can see there I'm using quite a lot of height where I can. The ball's going up towards the alarm sign wherever I'm in any sort of trouble, and you can see there when I didn't do it how dangerous she is. So yeah, 3-3. I guess my mindset is really just thinking kind of stay on the volley, and if I can't volley, take the ball as early as I can. As you can see there, just cutting the ball off and volleying using good height, and putting the ball back into good areas. And that was a good volley. It's about using all of my technical kind of ability to just pop the ball down the wall with good shape on the ball, if that makes sense. So it's not kind of just drilled like an arrow down the wall, but faded into the wall. And just as she wants to kind of hit it, it's hitting the side wall at the back and making her go for something a bit wild there on that cross-court nick that she missed.
Yeah, Shabini hit a shocker, which is very uncharacteristic.
I don't think I've ever seen her hit the service line with a cross-court volley.
See her hit the tin, but
I think they're just at the back corner, just really looking to kind of take the ball early. It really doesn't look like much when you just watch him, but there's two balls there that either could have been let to come off the back wall or let bounce. And it obviously again was another shot that just ran into the side wall, and she's kind of probably panicking a little bit at this point, 2-0, 5-3 down from Tayeb's point of view, and not really looking like she knows too much what's going on. And I would have been told off for that cross-court drop off Danny, because the game plan is to not let her throw that leg and kind of windmill it off, and it just shows when you do open up the court how she can just get the ball back like she did. And then it was the straight drop that won the rally, and that's what's so important to remember. I kept having to remind myself all the time, play straight, use the front two corners, don't play my flick, which I love to play so much, but Noor's so good at just reading those flicks and throwing the leg and the racket out. Pretty sure that was down, wasn't it? Another couple of really good straight balls there. I think it just has that kind of ability to makes the court massive for your opponent when you play straight, and particularly when you're doing it with the volley combo as well. And So from this point now, I've gone from 3-all to 7-3, and I haven't really done a lot. I've just stayed solid, and I've let her make the silly decision, and then maybe just picked her off at the right time, and sort of where the pressure comes from being 2-0 up, and you know, maybe she knows that, you know, from these positions I'm quite good. Don't let people off the hook, and she's gone from being kind of borderline joking and laughing around in the first 2 games to kind of now getting quite angry at herself.
So let's just pause it there. Let's stop share so we can see everyone. Is there anything that we've picked up from that before we talk about something specific I'd like to discuss, guys?
I think her strategy, she was always making sure that she was keeping the ball tight, using as much height as she could, and moving the ball away from her so she couldn't attack. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Anything else? No, so that's kind of exactly why we picked this clip, really, because it's talking all about strategy, all about the game plan that she's trying to execute, and what the game plan that she's carefully crafted specifically for this particular opponent. And it kind of wanted to ask the question how, number one, I guess how often, and maybe Paul, you can have a chat individually because you guys know how they play a little bit better, about number one, how much of a game plan do you guys have if you don't know too much about your opponent? And then we can talk about all of the things that you can kind of pick up in a short period of time about your opponent's game that will maybe give you a bit of insight and how you might adjust. And then the second part is how you might then adjust your game plan so that you can play still to your strengths, but kind of take advantage of the information that you've got about the other player.
There's a couple of things that stood out for me there, Steve. I think, and Damien touched on about strategy, but I think if we think about all 3 videos that we've showed over the last 3 weeks now, the word height has been mentioned all the time. Height and pace, right height with the right pace, stopping players play the shot. And the one thing, two things that really stood out. She's got a great shot, Laura. The flick at the front of the court. She holds and flicks the ball across the front of the court. That is a great shot for her. She's beaten a lot of players, wins a lot of points with that. And that's her sort of real sort of masterpiece of a shot. But she's actually denied herself from playing that. So think how hard that must be when you've got your favourite shot that wins you lots of points, but you know when you're playing a certain player, you can't do that. So think about how she's really, really having to think, I can't do the shot that I like playing, because if I do against Nor, she'll be on it, throw a leg out, and she'll block me out, and the ball will go past. So it's really, really important that she's sticking to her plan for that game. You know, I really despise it when people say, well, what should I do? Oh, just play your own game. Because that's not what you do. Your game has to adjust according to the players that you're playing. You have to make adjustments to your style. Leon and Arjun have played each other hundreds of times now. They know each other's game. So you need to know what you're going to do to beat each other, or you're not going to beat each other. You're just going to have a hack and the power of hitting is going to win, or whatever it might be. You have to have a game plan that works. Now, you're not always in that fortunate position to have played somebody that many times. You will start as you get better, gentlemen, and you'll go through and you'll play similar plays. I played him at the last bronze. I played him at the last silver. I know what I'm doing with that person. This is my game plan. Very, very important to have a game plan, and a game plan that is right for the player that you're playing. And I think these short videos that we've showed you, it's starting to show you how important having a game plan is. You might not be able to execute it. Hey, you're going to come across somebody that's too good for you. Hey, you still tried. You know, I played to a reasonable level. I played a couple of top boys in the world. I knew where they were weak. I still got beaten very, very comfortably. I wasn't good enough. My line and length wasn't penetrated enough. I knew what I tried to do, but I wasn't good enough to back that up. So have a game plan. Don't go into it. Do not go into a match without having a game plan. If you've never played that person before, you need to really start to think on your feet, and you start to find those little game plans when you're in your knock-up.
The other thing that I was thinking she starts to talk about, I think she talks about it a little bit more as she goes through, is she doesn't mention the words, but it's self-awareness and awareness of how your opponent is being affected by what you're doing on court, and how their kind of mindset or their irritation about what you're doing to them is affecting how they play. So going for a random cross-court nick that doesn't come off, or bits and pieces like that. And I wonder, the first part there is self-awareness. Are you aware enough to keep yourself under control? And then it's, can you be aware enough to kind of pick up on those bits and pieces and really give the opponent nothing? I think it was Wilstrop, again, that game against Wilstrop and Gowad. Did we do that? Have we done that one yet? We have.
Last week.
Yeah, great. It was that one where he was saying, like, give the opponent nothing. He was saying his dad was one of the biggest things was give his opponent absolutely no information about how tired, how upset, or all those sorts of things. And that's what she's starting to talk about now, talking about wiping the smile off Noor Al-Tayyib's face when she was kind of messing around and before and showing off a little bit, but now she's really feeling it, and it's getting closer and closer to losing. So I found that interesting.
Any comments, gentlemen?
Okay, Paul, about the game plan, like, what if you don't know much about the player that you're actually playing against? So, like, if it's your first time playing and you don't know anything about them, then, like, what sort of game plan would you go for?
I mean, that's the $1 million question. I think it's a great question, Arjun, and I think it's one of those that's where you need to really have your knock-up sorted out. And when I mean that, you're not just hitting the ball and warming yourself up, you're testing your opponent. You put a few lobs up high on their backhand volley. Did they go for it? No, they didn't. Okay, maybe that's an area. Did they go for it? Yes, they did. Did they hit the ball hard up there? Yes, they did. Okay, they're quite strong up there. Chuck a post in. Did they move for that post? No. Okay, maybe they didn't want to move for it. Maybe they're putting a bit of a poker face in and giving me nothing. You know, you've got to test the ground. You don't know, and you've heard me say it to you 100 times before. If you've never played somebody before and you're playing a right-hander, you're going to bury that ball deep onto their backhand side. And you might find, there's a slight chink in their armour. You might get something from them. You might get a little area where, that would be my standard go-to tactic. Get the ball deep on the backhand side. You know my straight lines are always what we're going for. I wouldn't give anything cheap. I wouldn't give it any points cheap. I wouldn't go for anything that wasn't necessarily on at the time. I think I'd play myself in. I'd find my length on the court. I'd find the right height on the wall. It might be a bouncy court. It might not be. It might be the super fast Finchy Manor glass back where we don't need to hit the ball as hard. You know, all those sort of variations need to come. Very, very difficult, Arjun. I mean, there is no answer. But I think by asking that question, you will start to then form your own game plan. Your game plan is to be positive, get up the tee, look for the volley across the middle, hunt the ball across the middle, all those things that we do time and time again. But you don't know where their weaknesses are. That's the advantage. That's why these videos are great, but they are sometimes a little bit out there because she's played 400 times maybe, so she knows exactly how she's going to play.
And there's loads of online footage of them as well. It's a bit harder for you guys to track down.
Yeah, there isn't anything of our super coach Morgill on PSA TV just yet. There might be soon. It's coming soon.
Okay, cool. Should we play the last few minutes?
Lovely.
Cool. Make sure it's got the right button. Yep. Okay.
And I feed on that quite well. It makes me very aware when someone's emotional state changes on a match, and I'm very, very aware of when someone is behaving how they normally do and maybe behaving out of character, and knowing that I've potentially got them in a place they don't want to be, really. I mean, that was a let ball there, but I felt quite happy with that rally. Couple of really good injections of pace, tight balls. You know, she doesn't really want to be playing them balls, so just happy to kind of replay the rally again. It just shows like her, you know, how good she is around the middle when you just leave it at the front.
Very astute with when to use the reviews as well, Massaro.
Yeah, she missed a trick there.
Really good straight ball there, just throwing the leg again. Looks quite simple, but most people kind of probably would panic there and maybe open up the court. Trying to keep it straight, as you can see. Straight and high if I'm under pressure, straight with pace if I'm not. Just nullifying her here and almost making her feel like she has to do something spectacular to get into the rally, and she's going with me, which is what you'd expect from someone of this quality. Playing straight well, and you know, it's a tough rally this. She's got a lot of balls back, and I think I've done quite a good job of staying straight there, hunting that ball down and not thinking about coming to the back of the court, and then the straight volley is the shot that wins it. I think at this point, I kind of thought, without getting too complacent, that might have been the match right there, because, you know, it was a tough rally. She was on the end of it, and I just kept moving the ball around the court, and she'd done a lot of work there, so she's probably going to shoot in this next rally and try and get something crazy, and I did well to pick her off. Another running ball. Camps is laughing. I'm looking out probably a bit like, what are you laughing at? I'm not over the line yet. And that's the thing I've learned in my career, just make sure that you push for that last point as if it's 9-all. 9-all in the, you know, in a game, and when you're ahead, it's almost even more concentration, because the last thing that you want to do is lose a lead from this far up. So even more focus to the plan, even more focus to every shot that you play, meaning on every single ball. And there you go. She was actually pretty good at the end of this match, and she said there, as we're just talking, that I got the better of her today, and that my game plan was too good, and maybe she realised how much I was restricting her play and her flamboyancy and the way that she likes to play the game. But Danny and I really set out with this match with a really, really clear but very, very simple game plan. And, you know, that's probably one of my proudest matches in terms of actually sticking to the simplicity of the game plan. And that set me up with a match against Noelle Shabini.
Let's just let the music play out there. I quite like that music.
Strange man.
Okay. Did you say strange?
Yeah.
Fair enough. So any other observations? What I'd like to, before I talk about one thing that I picked out there in those last few minutes, anyone? No. What do we think? I was talking to Carts about this earlier. What do we think about when we see a player launching themselves onto the floor after a ball, like we saw Noelle Tayeb do there a few times, to varying degrees of success? I mean, I think every time she did it, she got the ball.
I wasn't smiling.
Yeah, I did quite a bit.
It shows that they're determined to like stay in the rally.
Determined, yeah.
Yeah. That's where I was coming in from, Liam. But Steve had a different approach, so it's quite interesting that we both sort of had a different response to it. Yeah, yeah.
What do you think, Damien?
I think it's determined, yeah, but also I think they're very in the moment as well. Like,
So you think they don't even think about it? They're just instinct.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean? Yeah. What about you, Antoine?
I think it just shows they're kind of desperate to get the ball back. They just need it to hit the front wall one more time.
In a positive way.
Yeah.
You just need to get there, don't you? What about you, Arjun?
I think it's like a positive and a negative as well, because like it's good that you're like trying to get the ball back, but if you're in the position to do that in the first place, you've definitely done something bad before.
That's a good. Yeah, I think you've summed up both Steve and I there, Arjun, in that sentence. I think we're both coming from that side of the fence. Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think you would need to do in order to prevent having to launch yourself so often, or launch yourself in those situations?
Like control the ball and control the rally better.
Yeah, I don't think that there's any one situation you can directly compare like to one player or another. You can't say, like, let me put that player in that situation and see if they could still have got to it without having to throw themselves on the floor. So I think definitely throwing themselves with such athleticism to begin with is awesome, and going like wholeheartedly for it in the moment, as you said, Antoine and Damien, that's awesome. But
go on, Steve. Sorry, there's one thing I need to say at the end as well.
Yeah, sure. But what I was coming from the perspective is, if perhaps that player was a little bit more supple, a little bit more mobile, they could sneak under that ball, get to it, recover, and not have to be completely on their arse. Because when I saw Noel Tayeb there, she did it maybe 3 or 4 times in just that last game. And you can imagine how the last couple of games would have been. I mean, that's quite tiring. But two of the 3 or 3 of the 4, the very next shot she was dead anyway. So it was almost like, well, why'd you do it? What a waste. But
I can sense a little bit. I can sense a little bit of a segue going on here with your physical session. I'm not sure that I've got that right, but just I think there might be a bit of a segue there. Hi, Tony.
Oh, hi, Paul. Sorry.
That's all right, mate. You're all right.
Hi, Steve.
You're all right.
I am. I won't interfere.
That's all right.
What were you going to add there, Carl?
I also think that diving, the other risk is it makes it, unless you've practiced it a lot, when you're in the moment, there's a much bigger chance that you're going to get injured.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And also, some of the male players tend to dive to get the court wiped. They're buying a little bit of time. They're a little bit cheeky.
Yeah.
But one thing that I think Laura said at the end there, and I think this is something that I certainly was guilty of doing. You work to a game plan, you get a lead, and then you think, oh, well, I'm fine now. And then you switch off the game plan, and then suddenly they're coming back at you. And I think what Laura said there was absolutely spot on. You know, that's the time to make sure you execute your game plan even more when you're up. You know, it's easy to take your finger off the pulse. It really is. And then 1 point becomes 2, and then 2 becomes 3, 3 becomes 4, then suddenly the pressure's on you, and you think, I should have won that game, and then you're cursing yourself because you've lost that game. You know, you don't change what you're doing. If it's working for you, don't change it. You know, stick with it. It might be it might be that you're just pumping the ball deep down that backhand wall, but hey, you're 7-1 up. I'm 7-1 up now. Oh yeah, right. I'm going to show them how good I am at the backhand volley, Nick. 10. Oh, it's 7-5. You know, so stick to your game plan. If it's working, if it's not, change it. And that's where you need your game plan too. If you're on game plan 3, you're probably on your way out. you're probably not going to win that one. But you know, you've got to have that flex between game plan 1 and game plan 2. Game plan 3, well, you know, make sure the showers are running. I'll be there in a minute.
Cool. So yeah, segue into what we're going to do. So we're going to finish today's session with a bit of a mobility stretching session, and we'll send it to you guys afterwards, just to make sure that we can get a little bit more flexible. And the first part actually is going to also kind of handle the other side, which is going to be the more physical side. We're going to go through a session, the session that we did before, because Paul really liked it, which was a lot of work on kind of explosiveness, a lot of work getting nice and low underneath the ball and building up the strength in our legs predominantly to get into these positions.
Can I say something, Steve? We had a lot of coaches on a webinar on Monday night, and one of the coaches said, "Oh, you know, we're doing the same thing. Are we doing the same thing as they're doing in the county? Is it, you know, kids get a bit bored of doing the same thing?" I think that is part of what we do, gentlemen. It does get a bit tedious. You know, you're at a stage now in your game where you're going to do lots and lots of things the same, and it's trying to get something from those sessions. You can't make each session exciting and different one week to the next. You know, we could run 5 or 6 HPC sessions, and they could all be much the same. can dress them up slightly differently. We can add focuses on this or that or the other. But it is going to be pretty much the same. You've chosen a very hard sport, and it is going to be repetition. So I think the stuff that Steve done on week 1 when we done this was superb. Arjun, your excuse from having to do this, my friend. Obviously, you're injured, so that's not a problem. But, watch it if you want to, Arjun. If you don't, it doesn't matter. But I think this was a really good session that you done with Steve the other week. And it's something that I think you want to take away and perhaps, try and replicate a wee bit.
Okay. Any other comments on the squash game that we saw before we start getting warmed up and get into some physical movements? No? Everyone happy? James, are you there? No. Okay. All right, well, let's get started then. So I'm just going to change my cameras around so that you can present properly. Get yourselves ready.
I can't really do much of this, so I'm going to leave the call now. Is that okay?
That is absolutely fine, mate. So the mobility session. So you joined in when we did this before. So that's cool. Okay. If you have any questions about, actually, I'm recording this now. So Vicky will be uploading this to the site, and I'll send everyone the exercises for the mobility session afterwards. So if you do have any questions about how to do them, then just watch the last kind of 10 minutes of today's session.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, mate. Thanks for joining me.
You get your diary done for next week for us, Arjun, yeah?
Yeah, okay. Well,
good lad.
Bye.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good man.
See you, Arjun.
Okay, cool. All right, let me just change my cameras round. I'll be with you in a sec. Video there.
Wait, can I quickly use the toilet?
Oh,
yes.
Again? You done that last week?
Okay, just adjust. I'll turn this camera off. Spotlight. Getting good at this now.
You are.
All right, mute that. Okay, can everyone hear me on here?
Yep.
Lovely. Let me just adjust that. Okay, cool. Just pull up the main session. Cards.
Yeah, how long do you want it for?
Sorry?
How long do you want it for?
What for? Timer?
Timings.
Oh, not just yet. I was just
okay.
going to say, did I tell you I've started learning the cello?
Cello? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Play a piece.
Huh?
Play a piece.
Play a piece that's here. Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. Okay, and I found that actually learning a new instrument as a coach gives me a lot of empathy for my really struggling beginner students.
Do you know what I done with my army group on the level 1 course the other week? I got them all to demonstrate and feed the ball with their other hand.
Yes.
And I said, now that's what you're going to experience when you coach. That's what a lot of people will experience when they first come to squash.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it really does help. Is he back? Yeah, Leon's there. Arms crossed. Hurry up.
Looking cool.
Let's go.
Ready for business.
He's got that coach. He's got that sort of coach's pose now. Have you noticed? He's just standing there with his arms crossed like that.
Certain confidence.
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's just introduce the exercises, then we'll get the timer going. So let's go, a bit of a warm-up, jogging on the spot, let's go. And when we say jogging, we really mean quite fast. So get the knees nice and high, Damien. Antoine, that's gentle, let's go a bit faster. Get the arms going as well, mate. I know we don't normally use our arms to run in squash because we're doing other things, preparing to play. Okay, good. Some star jumps. Fantastic. Lunge rotation, back lunge to kick. Okay, cool. So the first 3 exercises, yeah, keep going, guys. Keep going, keep going, keep going. So the first 3 exercises we're doing are pure physical conditioning. The next 4 exercises in the middle are working on strength. And the last 3 are on core stability predominantly. So they're throwing in some balance and some rotations and bits and pieces like that. Okay, stop there, guys. So I'm just going to go through the first 3 exercises, and you can practice them real quick, and then we'll start the timer. So the first one is a lunge and rotation. So I want you to start with your arms across your body here, and then you're going to rotate over the knee. Okay, so your arms come across your knee. So let's just do 3 of those on each side, guys. All right, and then other side, full rotation with a perfect lunge. Okay, so take your time. Don't want any instability. Stay nice and upright. Full rotation. Drop the back knee all the way to the floor. Good. If I remember correctly, this one is it's not actually a circuit. So what I'd like for you to do is let's just go through this exercise now. I'm going to look at everyone. Let's go for 10 of those lunges on each side. Take your time. Try and make each one perfect. So we're not stepping too far forwards or too short either. Nice upright body position. Yeah, let's go now. 10.
It's the same thing we just did.
Please, 10 on each side. Good. Yeah, nice. Good. Leon, could you go side on for me? Could you do the movement side on? Yeah. Nice. Good. Don't lean forwards. Antoine, can you just show me the same movement? It looks like you're kind of leaning a little bit. Let's go again. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, good man. Okay, and Damien, is there a potential to do that side on as well? You're rotating the wrong way there, Damien. So rotate over the knee.
Oh.
Yeah, that's it, mate. Don't lean forward. Stay nice and upright. And drop in the back knee all the way down. That's it. Nice. Don't spend so much time at the bottom, Damien. Less ground contact time with that front foot. That's it. So we lunge in and lunge back. Nice. Good. All right, so Antoine's done. Just waiting for the other couple, I think. Fantastic. Okay, so next one. This one is conditioning. And it's burpees. So squat down, squat back. And nice big jump up. I'm just interested to see how many we can get in 60 seconds. Carts, I can do the stopwatch if you like.
I got it, it's all right.
You got it? Yeah, so 60 seconds, guys. Get ready to pause, count as many burpees as you can.
3, 2, 1, go.
Good. As many as you can.
Got eagle-eyed Thompson on this.
You're making sure you're jumping your feet back a bit further there, Antoine. That's as far as you can. That's it. You could jump a bit further back as well, Leon.
Halfway, gents.
Get your hips lower to the floor when you jump back, Leon. Hips lower, which means legs further. Good. Keep it going.
Come on, Coach Morgill. Come on, Coach Morgill. Haven't got the certificate yet. I could override that certificate.
Override.
10 seconds, boys.
Almost there. Come on, keep it going.
2, 1, and time.
Fantastic. Good stuff. Okay. Enjoy a bit of rest, a few breaths, but watch the camera, guys, because this is the next exercise. We're doing a back lunge to kick. Remember from before, I think you were all on the session last time. So the back lunge is actually quite a tough one to do well. As I said, I think the tendency is to kind of lean forwards. So as you lunge back, and maybe put your hands on your leg. So when you do it, just stay nice and upright. Just get familiar with the distance, but we're doing a back lunge to kick. So it's not just the back lunge, it's up, bang. So you're nice and stable, back lunge to kick. Back lunge to kick, nice and high. So just take your time on this one. I'm going to watch you. If you could just, in your own time, do 3 on one leg and then 3 on the other, and then 3 on one leg again, 3 on the other, and I'll catch you at some point and see if we can adjust something. Sorry?
So 6 on each leg.
That is correct. Yeah, but 3, then 3, then 3, then 3, just so I can have a little look.
That's a good one, that, Steve, isn't it?
Yes, it's an explosive movement, Antoine. So you're kicking fast. So as you go down, you're kicking high, fast. That's it, Damien.
Mind the work surface, Leon. Mind the work surface.
How high are we getting that foot, Antoine? Try and get it high.
Just about.
Good. Let's have a look at. Yeah, nice. Good. Can we just do 2 more on each side, please, Leon? Sorry, I didn't have a chance to look at you. Yes. Nice. Don't lean forwards. Good. Little wobble. Nice. Okay, cool. Let's go for, so that was just watching. Let's go for 5 on each leg now, as perfectly as you can. There's no rush. So there, you're lunging too far back there. If I was to look, because you're Damien, you're stepping too far back. So just go for a shorter one. That's it. Boom, nice and high. Good man. Good. And then 5 on the other side. I can't see the top of your foot there, Antoine, but it looks like you're raising your knee higher than your foot.
Ready?
Try and extend that leg, that foot out nice and high in front. That's it. Yeah, good. Can you touch your toes, Antoine?
Yeah.
Can you touch the floor?
Yeah.
Can you touch the floor with your palms?
No.
Okay, cool. I sensed a little bit of hamstring flexibility issue in the kick there, so we'll look at that later. Not that that's an issue. Well, you'd be more flexible and more mobile and able to get into those front corners and back out faster if you're a bit more flexible. So we'll look at that later. Good stuff. Next one on. So yeah, let's do it. Let's do that one more time. Each exercise. We're running through this last quickly. I only need 10 minutes for that mobility session at the end. So let's go once more for the lunge and rotation. Let's do 5 on each side there, guys. And we'll go through the burpees again. So in your own time, lunge and rotation. Good. So there, Antoine, that's really nice. But can you see your front knee is moving as your upper body moves? I want complete stability with your legs. It's just your upper body moving. That's much better. Go again. Just focus on, yeah, it's just well. That's it. Good. So it's the upper body rotating. Good stuff. Nice. I didn't ask for numbers. Numbers on the burpees, please.
26.
Yep.
30.
Yep.
31.
Lovely. We warm, nice and warm now. So set 2.
Wait, let me get a quick.
No, set 2, and you'll learn this as a coach, Leon. Set 2 I've found is usually the best.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we ready for set 2 of the burpees? Carts, over to you.
2, 1, go.
You found that as well, Carts. I've noticed.
Always. That. Set 2, set 3.
Good, guys. Come on. Looking good. Nice.
Halfway.
Jumping all the way back, Antoine. Yeah, nice.
$20 seconds to go.
Good, keep it moving. Going to the gym after this, Carts.
Oh, yeah, I'm going out for a 5-mile run.
Are you? Nice. Put the work in, don't we?
We do. 5, 2,
time, yeah?
1, Time.
Time, good. Lovely. So I told you, numbers?
28.
That was lower though, Antoine.
Yeah.
28.
Did you say 28, Damien?
I also got 28.
So Damien doesn't need to do another set. It must be, I must be wrong. Sometimes it's set 3, isn't it, Cox, that's better?
Well, it can be, yeah.
It can be, can't it?
No, it's not.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Did you hear the one about the magic tractor, boys?
No.
Went down the road.
Into a field.
Went down the road and turned into a field.
Antoine, you learn these in the level 1 coaching qualification. There's a list of them, and you have to learn them off by heart.
Is it actually?
No.
To learn them.
Oh,
Level 1 coach Morgill.
Hey. It's got a ring to it, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Coach Morgill. I like that.
Okay, guys, so we're just going to do one little set of these next 4 exercises, and then we'll do onto the core, then a bit of stretching. So let's go straight into it now. So the split squat is the next one we're going to do. Now, do you remember the split squat? I'll just show you side on here. So a nice comfortable distance apart, and you're not super in line. If your feet are kind of super in line, you're going to wobble. So just set your feet just slightly wider, but then we're going to have your arms up in the air, and we're dropping the knee down. So from side on, it looks like this. So the split, arms up, just dropping down. Now my knee is not going forwards, okay? So my knee is not going over my toe. I'm just literally dropping the back knee down. Okay, nice controlled movement. And back. And up. So take your time. Let's go for 5 of those on each side. And ideally, Damien, if you can get side on, that'd be lovely. Yeah, good, Antoine. I would say let's go slightly wider stance, Antoine, actually. Looks good, though. Yeah, nice. You're too close there, Damien. Yeah. Yeah, we'll try that. Let's see what happens with the knee. Looks good. Think about the knee. So think about your back knee just dropping straight down. At the moment, your back knee is going forwards as well, Damien. And what I mean by that is, if you see here, I'll do a couple. So here, I'm going forwards and back, forwards and back. Whereas if I'm in this position, I'm just dropping it down.
Right, more control, yeah.
More control. There's no forward motion that I want. It's just straight down. That's much better, Damien. Make sure that kind of knee grazes the floor. Get all the way down. Coach Mal Gill, can I have a look at that, please? Good, little bit of forward movement there. Try and focus on sitting back into it. Just sit straight down. I think that stance is too close there. Just go a touch wider. Good. If it is difficult, it could be some tightness in the quads.
Yeah, I think yeah.
Yeah?
Not very mobile.
Yeah, good. Well, we'll move on to that sooner rather than later. We're going to skip out the reverse lunge because we've done that reverse lunge and kick. So what we're going to do is the lunge matrix next, which was different positions. So let's, I'm going to take my right leg. Okay, so I'm going to go 12 o'clock, if you remember. I'm going to go 1:30, finishing facing 12, and I'm going to go 3 o'clock. I'm going to go 4:30 behind me and back, and then I'm going to go 6 o'clock there. But I might, yeah, let's go. Let's do that again. So you know the positions. I'll just watch you guys do it.
Yeah.
No, you don't have to do it that version, Damien. Let's just start from that. Yeah, that's it. Let's start from both feet on the floor. Yeah, nice. Good. That back lunge. Just do the back lunge again for me, Damien. Don't step so far back. Yeah, so your knee's not coming. It's not coming all the way down, is it? Let's try and get all the way down to the floor. Shorter lunge. That's it. Nice. Yeah, that's nice, Antoine. Have you changed sides already? Antoine?
Yeah.
Have you changed sides already?
Yeah.
Good. Let's do one more set then, Antoine, both sides. That's nice there, Damien. Apart from that last one, you overreached there. Can you do that position for me? I think you're doing 730 with your left arm. Yeah, 730 with your left leg. Yeah, it's awkward, isn't it? Try again. So let me show you here. You are doing 730, aren't you? Yeah. Okay, cool. So there you're kind of coming across and you're undecided. Do I bend this? Do I not? Do I pivot entirely? And for this particular movement right now, ghosting aside and playing the shot, let's pivot and drop the knee all the way down and recover. It's much more fluid movement to do that in this position and recover. So let's see that. Let's see that. That's nice. Yeah, that's nice.
Good.
Yeah, good man. Okay, cool. Great. Let's go straight into the core exercises and then we'll have 10 minutes for our mobility. So the core exercise, do you remember the Superman plank variation where I wanted you to bring one elbow in towards the knee? And I think most of you said that was the hardest one we did. Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember.
So I think it was a Superman plank here. And I want you to just really subtly, without anything moving, bring the elbow into the knee. Really slowly. So let's hold that. Let's go 20 seconds on one side and go 20 seconds on the other side.
Wait, holding?
Sorry?
Are we like holding or going back and forth?
So you're holding with your, let's say my left arm and my right foot are on the floor. And it's my right arm and my left knee slowly coming in and extending and they're off the floor.
But we don't hold the hand and knee together. We
watch this movement, mate.
Watch.
Wait, Steve, how many of each?
I only want 20 seconds, mate. So however many you can get in 20 seconds. So I'm here and I'm slowly bringing in just for 20 seconds. Okay, so get yourselves ready in position. Carts will be 20 seconds.
2, 1, go.
Good. Good. Try and keep the back nice and straight. Extend the leg, extend the arm, Damien. You're on one side there, so try and keep yourself nice and straight. That's it.
And yeah, time.
Right. Well done. 10 seconds rest. Okay, in position. Carts.
2, 1, go.
Try and keep your bum down there, Antoine, a little bit. That's good. Nice. Extend the arm. Extend the arm, Antoine. Sorry, Damo. That's it.
Oh.
Keep going.
Slowly.
2, 1, time.
Well done. Good. And we'll pick the side plank and raise. Remember the side plank and raise? So side plank position is here. And the side plank is raised is when we drop down here, up, and we're going to raise the arm and leg. And we drop the hip down against the floor, up and raise. And drop everything down and raise. Let's go. Is everyone happy with that movement? Antoine? Dave?
Yeah.
Leia?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to go 7 each side.
7.
So get in position. Yep. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Arm up, leg up, Antoine. Leg up. That's 1. Hip down. And go again. That's 2, Antoine. Good. Looks good, Damien. Try and get that bottom hip as high off the ground as possible. It's not the ideal surface for it, Leon. It's probably hurting your forearm, isn't it?
It's fine.
You're a coach now. Keep it going.
There's probably a couple. Side.
We could put, one you've done 7. Yeah, we could probably mention it a couple more times, can't we? Space. There's time. Yeah, 7 when you're ready. Drop. Good. Drop the hip down again, Antoine. Yeah, nice.
Good, Antoine.
So just take your time, really trying to control that stability. So you really wanting to wobble or lean forwards or one side, but really control, use your abs, your oblique muscles to control that movement. Okay, we've got quite, when you're done, just say done. Just
Done.
done. Lovely. Okay, we're going to go straight into this, guys, because I'm worried we're going to run out of time. So the first one, we've got 10 exercises. We're just going to do a few of each exercise. The first one is a cat-dog stretch. So you've probably done this many times before. Hands below your shoulders, knees below your hips. You're going to drop your lower back in, head comes up. Okay, trying to stretch out the back in that way. And then you're going to raise up, arch your back as much as possible, tuck your head in, hold that.
I think you need to get your legs straight today, Leon. Yeah, you need to get a 90-degree between your hamstrings and your calf. That's it.
Where possible, Antoine, Damien, there's no information you're giving us from that angle. So can you go side on? Thanks, mate. Yeah, drop your head down now, Antoine. Drop your head down. Can it go down, Antoine? Your head. Show me the other side.
What?
Yeah, lift your back up again. Arch your back. And tuck your head in as well. That's it. Really good. Okay, cool. That's number one. Number two, we're going for some Supermans. Now again, we've done this before, but actually, so hands and knees position. What we're doing is, I'll show you side on, extending one arm and extending one leg. Well, this is really nice stretch for your back. And it's a nice activation exercise for your abs as well. So alternating, trying to really focus on your movement, not swaying from one side to the other. So it's a nice, easy exercise. But as just shown there, David, just take your time. You don't want to sway. What you can do is put a pole on your back and not let it fall off, or something on your lower back. And what you're trying to do is not have too many shifts from one side to the other, so you can control the movement. Lovely. Number three is thoracic rotations. Now, I often do these kind of quite actively from one side to the other in a warm-up. But as part of a mobility session, I would take one leg over to the side. So I'm lying down on my back, arms to the sides. I'm going to take one leg over, and now we're just going to hold. So we don't often take the time to do this. If I take my knee all the way over to the sides and try and pull that knee down to the floor, it's a lovely stretch for the gluteus minimus around here, but also for the lower back. So just pulling that down to the floor, it's a fantastic stretch there. And if we're talking about some of the biggest muscles in the body, but also the biggest muscles that we use in squash, the glutes are that muscle group. Good, so if we go from there, what you can also do is actually stretch the glutes at the same time, or the other areas of the glutes. So you can go an angle here. Just trying to think the best angle to show you. So take one leg up here. We're going to pull the knee towards the opposite hip. So I'm pulling my right knee towards my left hip now to get the gluteus medius. Stretch there. And again, any stretch you want to be holding for at least 10, 15 seconds. Anything less than that is not going to be doing too much. Good, and then still same leg. You can pull both your knee and your toe towards you to stretch your gluteus maximus, or you can pull just your knee. So you can straighten your left leg and pull your knee up towards your chest, which is going to stretch the glutes, the main gluteus maximus. So you've got three angles, three areas. Good, so let's just quickly swap over onto the other side. I will finish this on time, I promise. So one side. Oh, it's a nice one. You get a couple of nice back clicks as well, if you're old.
Wait.
I do. 31 now. Mid-30s. I'm almost. Good, hold that position. Okay, cool. So now move into the medium position. So bring one leg up, pull one knee over towards the opposite hip. Someone on the phone or watching a video or something.
Sounds like it, doesn't it?
Yeah. Good.
Yeah,
And then
the family upstairs.
let's pull your toe and your knee towards you, or go straight back, pulling your knee up towards your chest. Stretch out the main glutes there. Fantastic. Okay, next one. We're going to go for new stretches we've done. We're going to do a really nice one, important for us squash players. We're going to do hip flexor stretch. So we're going to get in a lunge position, knees on the floor. Take one knee forward and stretch. So I'll show you side on. Knees forwards. I'm going to put some weight on this leg if need be, but I'm staying nice and upright. And I'm going to feel it on the knee that's on the floor at the front on my quad. So it's the hip flexors at the front. Just hold that position. Any questions about these stretches so far, guys?
Wait, this stretch, is it meant to work the hip flexor for the leg which is in front?
No.
Wait, I think I must be doing it wrong then.
It should be the one that's on the floor. That's the one that's got the angle up here.
Oh, I didn't have my, okay, I think I got it.
Maybe you're feeling it from a muscular perspective because it's working, holding you in this position, but it's not stretching. The bottom leg should now be stretching. And now I change legs. So now it's this leg. If I lean forwards, this part of my leg is now being stretched.
Stretch, Steve.
I like this one.
Strong boy.
Okay, hip flexors, hamstrings next. Now, the way we're going to do hamstrings today is just stand up, guys. We're going to drop one leg down to the side. So we're going to start with adductors. So adductors are the muscles on the insides of your thighs that you use to pull together, but they tend to be really quite tight. So let's just drop down into this position. And we can actually also drop down into this position, kind of like a spot. I always think it's like a Spider-Man position, ready to, but just hold that position as kind of intensely as you can tolerate. When you're stretching, you only really want about a 6 or 7 out of 10 in terms of discomfort. Anything more than that, and you're going to be doing damage. So this is your adductor stretch, which we're going to move into hamstrings. I quite like here, move in here. So if you can't quite reach your toes, then take your hand down your leg, hold on to that position there at the front of your shin, or if you can, then you can bring your toes in, you get a hamstring stretch and calf stretch there as well. How long are we holding this for, Leon?
20 seconds.
Yeah, at least 10 or 15.
There'll be a coach to come back to the response as quick as that, haven't you?
Okay, so now let's come back. We'll drop to the side. Okay, we're going to stretch the adductors on the inside there. Just hold that there. And even just getting into this position, guys, just so if you show this to anyone else, it's quite physically demanding to get into this position. If you're doing this with your coachees, if you have any adult clients, Leon, it's quite tough to get into this position. Anyway, then turn the leg over. Again, reach your hand down your leg or grab your toes if you can. And that's a lovely hamstring and calf stretch there. Coming to the end now, we're just going to do a quad stretch. And then you can all leave. It's 14 minutes past, almost perfect timing. I've got another 5 seconds on this one. Now, if I'm doing a quad stretch and I'm standing up, to actually feel it, I need to actually have both hands on my leg to really squeeze and pull up. I don't know about you guys. I actually need both hands on this foot to pull it in. Otherwise, I don't really feel too much of a stretch, and my heel has already touched my bum. But to really feel the stretch, I need to pull both hands in to really get the proper stretch on the quad. So you can even go for that one, or we can drop down to the floor and do this one, which is behind. I quite like
quite flexible, leaning back and stretching there. Again, it's a bit of hip flexor as well as quadriceps. And if you're doing this exercise, if you do this one in particular, standing up, it's harder to tell if you're doing it with one hand. But if you can do what I'm doing now and you don't feel anything, absolutely fine. You still need to stretch the muscles. Some muscles in different people, you just don't need to stretch. You might need to strengthen it instead. Good, last 15 seconds, and then we're done. Okay, cool. That's it. Parts.
Well done, boys. Superb. Great. Well done. Well, applied yourselves really well there, gentlemen. If you can just make sure you get that little bit of work done to Steve by, should we say by the end of play at the weekend, end of Sunday?
That would be good. Yeah, we'll send an email out following this with a little reminder. If you can fill that in, that would be lovely. Send it back over to us, either to Vicky or to me, and we'll get it back to me, preferably to me. And we can look at it before next time.
Lovely.
Steve,
All
do
right,
I need to send you your weekly training plans as well?
Yes, please, if you filled those in.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Paul.
Right,
Cheers,
thanks,
boys.
Paul.
Well done. Take care, gentlemen.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
See you.
Cheers.
Cheers,
Bye.
guys.
Cheers, Steve.
Well done, Carl.
Well done, buddy. Speak to you soon. Cheers, Steve.
Hello?
Hello, matey.
I'll stop recording.